security concerns as well. However, from Brussels' point of view, isn't this a relationship increasingly defined by security suspicion and now not economic trust?
I think there are wide-ranging issues between China and European Union, and I think they are being addressed. But as per the developments that have happened recently in the last few days, and if you go through the statement that has come from the European Union just yesterday, so obviously they talk about trade, they talk about trade tensions. European Union talks about decreasing the trade deficit and all of those things, and addressing addressing concerns between each other. But what is very striking in the statement is that European Union talks about China playing a role in ending the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And I think the same message comes from Rubio as well, Secretary of State Rubio, in a statement in a press interaction that he had on the airplane yesterday. He talks about Trump reaching out to President Xi Jinping and checking out the possibility of China playing a role in reaching out to Russia for ending the Ukraine conflict. And I think that's where we are heading towards. So it will be interesting to see what happens on Thursday.
Yes, Venus Udapaya, thank you very much for joining us on the programme. Pleasure to have you on, and thank you for taking the time. We now move on once again to another development, and the first direct commercial flight between mainland China and India in over 5 years landed in Guangzhou earlier today. According to airport information, this marks a symbolic step in cautiously warming ties between the world's two most populous nations. Indigo flight 6E1703 from Kolkata touched down in the southern Chinese city shortly before 4 a.m. local time, officially resuming non-stop air links that had been suspended since 2020 due to the pandemic and subsequent geopolitical tensions. Passengers travelling on the first direct flights between India and mainland China after a 5-year suspension have welcomed their restart, saying that the journey was smooth and easy. Let's take a listen in.
I have come for some furniture purpose, and this is my first visit to Guangzhou, and it was such a smooth and an easy, lovable trip because there was no hopping or anything. It was a direct flight. I sat in Kolkata, I landed here, and it is very smooth. I mean, I could come again and again with this flight.
I was going on the 24 or 25, but when I came to know that there is a direct flight to India, so I rescheduled my plan. And I'm just booked my ticket to the Kolkata, right? And now I can see I'm directly flying to India from China. This is the first time for me.
This is the only flight. Otherwise, you have to make a long detour. Either you have to go by Bangkok or by Singapore or by Hong Kong. So it adds up, more. I came here for the flight time was just about, say, 3 hours 40 minutes. So I think you have to add another 8 hours to it, 8 or 9 hours. If you want, had it been day before yesterday, let's put it as simple as that.
We're now joined by Vandana Singh. She is an aviation expert and joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Vandana, for joining us here on NewsX World. Before we get into the diplomatic implications, what will this mean? Of course, this is the first time this has happened in 5 years for the broader tourism and aviation industry here in India, if this were to increase.
Thank you, Thomas, for having me on your
Pleasure.
show. It's indeed an honor. And to just elucidate on what you just mentioned, let's not forget that you're looking at the two largest Asian giants here, China and India, India and China. The biggest trading partners, which is China and India. You're looking at a trade crossing 130 billion US dollars. Now, when something like this happens in the overall aviation spectrum, and that we know it's happened after 2020, after the geopolitical tensions, after the pandemic, as you rightfully mentioned, then it's such a welcome sign because you reach mainland China, business is business. Business has to be conducted. There is people-to-people exchanges. There is a huge tourism boost. There is a huge diplomatic boost after a series of meetings between our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping. I believe it's taken a new leap. So despite any other geopolitical tensions, any other trade issues, it is a welcome sign to the people. There is huge exports that's happening. There is huge imports that's happening. I just mentioned the figure of 130 billion to you and growing. And you're looking at electronics, you're looking at pharmaceuticals, you are looking at soft toys, you're looking all of it that is going to grow and beyond. And with the ease of, China Southern coming in, China Eastern coming in, Indigo flying in with daily flights from Kolkata to Guangzhou, and soon from 7th November, we have New Delhi, Shanghai, and New Delhi, Guangzhou starting. I think it's a huge boost to trade, to tourism, to people relationship, and to making life easier, because anyway, we were all traveling. I've traveled many times, but yes, it has always been a detour via Hong Kong or Bangkok, Singapore, as it was just mentioned by another passenger. And I think this just makes things better, easier, easy, and a good restart, I would say, after 5 years. Over to you, Thomas.
Yes, and Vandana, of course, there is nearly 3 billion people between the two countries. What are the tourism and other industry boosts that we might see now that travel between these two bordering nations will be so much easier?
Absolutely. So as we know, a lot of conferences are held on both sides for tourism and trade. And it's easier for now people to go in and out. They just have to fly direct. So obviously on one side, the aviation industry is taking a boost for both the Asian giants. On the other side, the overall business, which was anyway happening indirectly, will happen in a more direct fashion. When it comes to tourism, obviously, we Indians love to go to China. We love to explore China, and so do the Chinese. They love to come to India. So with that happening, we expect a huge tourism boost that's going to happen in both the countries. And I expect this to just grow from here. There is no looking back. You mentioned the population. We are the two largest populated countries in the world. And we love to travel. And it is for business, it is for pleasure, it is for tourism as such. The whole tourism industry, the aviation industry, the business spectrum, the diplomatic spectrum, all of the landscape is taking a boost here. And it's such a welcome step right now, considering the geopolitical tensions all over the world that are happening right now. So I think it's a real welcome sign, and we see things to grow from here. 130 billion is just a figure that I'm giving you. It's surely going to double and triple in the coming years.
And of course, Vandana, before we move on, what does this say about India's broader strategy? Decoupling from China where it must, but reconnecting to it where it can.
Absolutely. I think it's very intelligent. It's the right way to go ahead. I mean, one cannot be arm-twisted, by another superpower. One has to look at one's own national interest. One has to look at one's neighbors. China is our neighbor. And having good neighborly relationship, good friendship, I think it's only a way to boost peace and diplomacy, amongst other things. So I think looking forward, if China and India were to come even closer, as they have, I think it's a big message to the world as well that look, we know how to do our trade equations. We know how to do our, keep our momentum going. We know how to keep our economies growing. and we will do it. So we are not going to be dictated by one or the other, other countries to say that, look, we won't do business with you or we won't do business with you. We as a country, India, know whom to do business with, how to do business with, and why to do business with. Thomas,
Yes,
over to you.
Vandana, do stay with us. We have a further story coming up at our audience.